Oh, it's a plane. Oh! I was like, lock the door. I thought it was wrong.
Hey guys, it's Michaela, and as you can see by the title, this video is about marriage at 18, which it's not me that got married at age 18. It is my wonderful friend Savannah. Say hi,
Hola,
YouTube. She's been my best friend since we were 8, 7, 8, something like that. I think it was 8.
I think we were
like
8.
3rd grade.
Yeah.
So we've been best friends for a long time, and she got a boyfriend, and they kind of got
Sadly.
married. Yeah, sadly, they got married. There's been quite amount of events going on, and I thought I'd make a great video, tell the world how marriage is at 18 years old. I have a couple questions for her I'm going to ask, and then I have her answer, and then I'm basically just going to have her explain her entire outlook on getting married that young and how her marriage went personally. Okay, so the first question, how long had you guys been dating?
We were dating a year and I'd say like a year and a half.
Year and a half.
About
Okay,
a year and a
so
half.
that's a decent amount of time to get to know someone, but that's
It's not long enough to
Not
get
long
married to
No.
somebody.
Second question is, when did you guys move in together?
We moved in,
Like, about how long had you guys been dating when you moved in together?
I would say about a year.
A year?
It was about a year, or right at a year when we first moved in together, and then let's see, it was about the beginning of January. But January was like the very first time I moved in with him.
The first time.
First
The
time.
first time out of too
Like,
many.
5
The
times.
third question, why did you guys decide to get married?
Honestly, it was so we would have a place to stay. So it wasn't even for like
Your own...
love, like whatever. Like, we were engaged. I didn't want to get married.
Did you
He
want to be
wa-
engaged, or did you just want to...
I wanted to be engaged,
Just didn't wanna
but
get
I
married
didn't
right
want to
away?
get married
Yeah.
because I wanted to wait like 3 or 4 years. Because we got engaged really quick. If you're gonna get engaged really quick, then you should at least wait a few years before you get married. We got engaged. We're engaged for like 2 months and then got married.
How did he ask you to marry him?
In like his cousin's bedroom. And he didn't even like really propose. He just kind of like said, "We're getting married."
The fourth question is, what were some pros of the marriage, if any?
I know, right? I would say, because you do have like a support person that you can like talk to and stuff. You always have somebody that's like with you basically.
So you don't get lonely.
So you don't get lonely. Like, because we didn't really have that many pros. So,
Yeah, so marriage at 18, not many pros.
no.
Okay, the fifth question is, what were some cons about the marriage?
Oh, Lord. Biggest cons, I would say, would be you don't really know anybody, like, unless you've been with them for a long time.
What would you say is a long time?
I would say, I say around 2 years is a good, like, mark to be engaged, to me personally. 2 to 3 years is a good, like, okay, let's get engaged. And then a year to plan, like, a wedding. And if you're gonna get engaged within the year, then 2 years at most before you get married. Because there's really no rush, because literally you're getting married just to get a piece of paper. Like, that's how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
It's not changing anything about y'all's relationship. It's not.
You guys get a little bit more excited. She's like, oh my god, you're my husband. You're my wifey.
It's a bigger
title.
commitment.
It's a title.
It's a title.
Yeah,
so,
and then it just makes it a little harder to walk away if something is
Yeah.
going wrong.
So I would say,
like this situation.
yeah. So I would say, like, if you're going to get married young, then that's a big concern. That's a big con, is because you can't walk away. And we've only been together since March, so that's like not good.
So you got married March what?
We got married March 5th.
And today is July 12th, and it already went to shits. So,
Yeah. I thought I knew him, but I didn't know him, because you don't really know people, especially when you're not seeing them constantly and like hanging out with them all the time. And he lives like an hour from my house, so
Sorry, I just froze. I'm just staring with my mouth open.
I worked at a hair salon for, I would say, about 5 or 6 months. I kind of had an income. It wasn't a steady income because I didn't really have like a big clientele.
So basically, she was pretty broke.
Yeah, I pretty much packed all my shit.
All of it.
All of my stuff. And left one morning and like nobody knew what I was doing.
She left her parents' house and she was just gone.
Yeah, so I packed everything I could in my car, all my animals, all my stuff, and I just took off.
She literally told nobody. She didn't even tell me. She was just like, hey, I live with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like an hour away. I almost said where he lived. That would've been bad. Hey, I've been living with my boyfriend for like a week, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so me and him,
she was a little rebel.
he didn't like have a job or a car or anything, so he
Still
basically
doesn't.
relied on me. Yes, still doesn't. That was really a big issue because I was broke, he was broke, and then we slept in my car for like the first week, which is ridiculous, especially when you have a pet ball python that
Yeah,
you have to
snake in
take
your
care
car.
of.
The reason they did live in her car was because he lived with his grandparents.
Yeah, he lived with his grandparents.
That's another whole story.
Yeah. So he didn't have anywhere for us to live, and
Basically, they just wanted to run away together.
Basically. So then we ended up moving in with his family friend.
Okay, so my 6th question is, how did y'all live without support from your family? Because neither of their families liked each other dating. They didn't like the other person. It was a big mess.
My support system was like not there.
When she moved out, once her parents realized what she was doing,
Yeah, they
they
weren't really happy, obviously. I felt like I was doing the right thing because things with my parents weren't really like happening.
Yeah.
I guess.
They just weren't.
So it wasn't a good relationship, and it's gotten better now, like a lot better, but beforehand it was really shitty. So they were pissed, but they kind of like, they didn't come after me or anything,
And there was just no support, basically.
there was just no support. Like, I was basically cut off.
So there was no support from either sides of the relationship besides each other.
His grandparents supported us kind of in the beginning, and they like gave us some money and they would help us with groceries sometimes, but they didn't help us with like a living situation until later on in our marriage.
Define him in 3 words. Give me 3 words.
Abusive, controlling, a piece of shit.
3 more words. Okay, so give me a good summary of how your relationship went, because we've talked about how it wasn't great, but we haven't gotten to the bad part yet. This is the result of not really getting to know a person well enough.
So it all started off by like lying, and then when being confronted about lying, like lying to cover that up. Yeah, and then there were drugs involved with his side, and I think drugs played a big role in it too, and I think they still do, but
which isn't an excuse, but that's still a big problem.
and so that's a big problem. In order to live with his grandparents, we had to be married because she is very religious. We decided to get married. I didn't plan my wedding at all.
Grandma did.
My family and stuff were invited. They didn't come, but one of my friends did come, and I couldn't have her like there. Like, they didn't want her like walking me down the aisle or anything, because that's not like, I guess, how traditional weddings are, which is freaking stupid.
Who cares?
So that happened. So the wedding was shitty, and then it all kind of like went downhill from that. His grandma was really manipulating and controlling, and very like, everything we did, if it didn't do with God, then
it wasn't right.
Like going to hell. So, and again, like what she said, there's nothing wrong with religion, but to a point.
Don't force it on
somebody that's not a religious person. Then he started to be like controlling, like he would go through my phone all the time. He wouldn't let me talk to my friends. He would always say like, they don't care about you, I care about you.
He hated me
He hates
me
her
so much. I love it Please
And
hate me.
So it was basically like a never-ending saga with him.
I think anytime you were ever with me when you came to like hang out, like you drove an hour back to come hang out, there was always an argument started just because he's with me or she's with me.
Yeah, and so
It's
it was
so
just
annoying.
like, it was really stupid. So a lot of it had to do with controlling, and trying to make me feel like nothing. And then that led into abuse. So, and not like mentally abuse, like physically abusive. I mean, there was mental abuse too, but it was like hitting and that kind of thing. He was like drunk or high. I can't really remember which one it was.
Or both.
Or both. I mean, I don't know. And he was mad at me for something, and he like picked me up and like threw me at a dresser. And so then the next day, like, we went to sleep because I figured it was because he was like under the influence. So I mean, I was scared, but I wasn't like
Too scared.
yeah, I kind of figured like he didn't mean to, I guess.
Oh,
That
he
sounds
meant to.
But I like the next day I told him about it. He apologized. He was crying. Like he did the whole like I won't do it again, that kind of thing.
Okay, so basically give me like your like 3-sentence summary of getting married at a young age. What do you think about it now?
I think that it's not something you need to do. I would never do it again. Well, I mean, you're only 18 once anyways in your life, but
Now you're 19, time to start over.
yeah, I know, right?
New marriage.
I think that the lesson learned is you don't know who you're marrying when you marry, when you rush. When you're 18, you don't even know if you're going to be with that person tomorrow.
Especially because when you're young,
Um,
you're still finding out who you are.
Yeah.
So even like yourself, like you don't really know who you are, so you don't,
Yeah.
you're not gonna know who
And
they are.
And I would never do it again, and I don't think that when you're 18 you need to get married. And if you are going to do it, that make sure you truly, truly, truly know that person. Like meeting someone online and only knowing them for a year and a half, that's like not.
Especially for that year, you don't really get to see them.
No.
That like once or twice, yeah, but careful who you meet online. The internet is very dangerous,
Very
as you can see, because you're
dangerous.
gonna be psychotic.
Crazy people, and it's most of
A-holes.
the people that I've dated.
Yeah. Okay, so for all of you who are thinking about getting married when you're our age,
Don't do
don't.
it.
No, just don't. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Say bye. Bye. Bye.
That good shit that make me not quit. That good shit. He gave it to me.
Every day, every day, every day.
He gave